And we're back.
Huzzah.
So, you all sort of clamber back aboard the ship. You're all sort of incredibly fatigued from battling in the water.
Well, I never got in the water, but I'm still fatigued.
Yeah, you did kind of take a massive rain of razor-sharp hail to the face.
Yep.
Wow.
Does anyone want berries? I can give you berries.
I think we could use a couple.
Does the not dead guy want a berry?
Yeah, he will eat like literally anything you give him.
Ah, yeah.
I think we're just gonna lie on the deck for
They're
a while.
very sweet and definitely not grown out of my body.
Why did you say
Why would you
that?
ever say that? Don't.
That was out of character. I would like to specify.
Yeah.
Okay.
And technically, they aren't grown out of your body. You create them with magic.
Alright,
but-
alright.
Well, but it looks like it.
Yes.
I believe we're eating.
Unlike your mother,
Stop.
who legitimately grows them out of your body.
Ugh.
I hate
But
everything.
yeah. Eventually, you get the decks cleared, and
Of blood and octopus.
yeah.
But the real question is Kelariis gonna have to roll to make this Tamiyaki?
I'm gonna try my fucking best to make us some sweet octopus for dinner.
Sure.
I don't know.
You have cooking tools, do you not? Or do you?
I think in my bag.
We have a
Backpack.
kitchen we can use.
We also have a kitchen.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember what the cooking tools proficiency stat is.
I don't have like a specific thing.
Oh, do you not?
It feels
Okay.
like it should be like a wisdom or some shit. Is that just me?
Is it?
I think it is wisdom. That's like the first
Wait.
thing that came to my mind. too.
I think we've
I might
used
have to-
survival checks in the past, haven't we?
Yeah, but it
that's
was
what our
mainly
cooking
for.
tools, surely.
Yeah, but it was for hunting actually, and then like we didn't actually roll for cooking.
Oh, what
Just-
about
Kelariis does not actually have any. You have an iron pot, and that's it. So
I should have had a mess kit,
But
but I
we
don't know
have
what
a
the fuck
kitchen,
happened to
though.
it.
yeah, you don't need it. Just roll me a survival check to see how well you can recreate this. You can have advantage because you have
Hello, I want some help.
what's it called? Oh yeah, cool.
Okay. Here we go, guys.
Yeah, quite easily.
Nice.
Hell yeah!
We're in good tonight, boys.
Also,
We're
if,
in
if
it.
cooking is a survival check, am I canonically the best cook?
Probably.
Yes.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
Only if you have the best rolls.
Anyway. What the fuck was that?
We have
Wait.
sweet calamari. Well,
That's
not
how
calamari.
that works. The Vondal's a better cook than Kelariis.
Look here now.
If Kelariis makes it, is it technically calamari?
God damn it.
God damn
Hey.
it.
It's squid!
Hello, Mari.
I hate everything.
Oh, why didn't I think of that? Fuck.
So,
Now I'm annoyed.
you eat well for the evening, and you can rest. And at about 4 o'clock. Oh yeah, no. So I guess before you guys eat, at about 4 o'clock, you feel the faintest breeze pick up, and
Yes.
Morgan
Yes.
orders the sail to be dropped. And yeah, by the time you guys go to sleep, the ship is fully underway once more. And I believe there are only 2 days left on your journey.
Oh my god.
Holy
What?
shit, guys, are we actually gonna maybe
Are we gonna
reach
do
shore?
it?
Okay,
Maybe.
so
There's no way.
as
Have we
you, oh yeah, you can long rest because you
Oh, yeah.
travel the next 2 days relatively unopposed.
Give me those spell slots back.
The temperature does not change very much, but the addition of a fresh wind makes the temperatures slightly easier to tolerate. Kelariis, you are definitely home now. Like this is the atmosphere you grew up in. And yeah, after the probably about 2/3 of the way into the final day, the 14th day, you arrive in Port Karthel.
Oh my god.
What?
I'm fucking dead. Bye,
Oh,
guys.
the music.
Yeah.
The music's amazing. Why are you laughing?
Ah.
No, this is from Wind Waker.
Yeah, I was
Oh.
gonna say this is Legend.
Almost
Why is
all
it
of these
recording?
tracks have been from Wind Waker, so...
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna
also
say the
fair.
normal sailing music.
I've never played Legends of Zelda, so anyway.
I just know the music.
So, yeah, you pull up in the port, surrounded by a similar number of warships, actually, than as when you were in Castport. But as you all look around, the architecture of the buildings surrounding this place are all very different to what you guys are used to. It's none of these sort of like grey stone monoliths that you guys have been used to in the north. Almost all of the stone buildings here are white, and almost all of them are flat-topped with open areas on rooftops covered by canvas. Presumably to aid in the dispersing the incredibly humid heat that exists in this port town.
Gross.
And yeah, no sooner do you pull up to the dock than Morgan is running around, getting everybody to double check the inventory, get everything sorted. And as the gangplank is lowered down onto the raised area of the dock nearby, there are 3 silver dragonborn standing on the edge of the dock, waiting to board.
Oh, I presume that's military.
V just like jumps off and just goes, land, sweet land.
Oh.
The one of the silver dragonborn sort of like holds up their hand and says, "Not so fast."
Oh.
Boy.
They step up onto the gangplank, walk aboard the ship, and display a similar insignia to the guys at the border had. Were you gonna say something?
No, I was just saying, oh fuck.
Yeah. And yeah, essentially this is a conversation goes on with the captain that you basically deduce that these guys are the port authority. And they are here to inspect the full manifests for the ship's cargo and basically make sure everything is as it says it is. I guess, V, what is your passive perception?
It is still 19, I believe.
Okay. As this conversation goes on, Morgan and the Port Authority Master have a strange conversation that doesn't really make sense and involves like a lot of strange hand gestures. And the Port Authority Master sort of like nods and sends one of his like dudes off to go and get a member of the guard. Which the whole exchange to you strikes you as very odd.
Oh god, are they all gonna talk like this in here? It's gonna be weird.
None of the rest of you notice anything odd about this conversation.
Well, I would imagine so, because they're just having a conversation.
Yeah. But yes, after an extended exchange with Morgan, a very official-looking gold dragonborn comes up the gangplank, and Kelariis, you recognize him immediately as having sort of like military rank insignia on him.
Oh boy.
he doesn't even bat an eyelid at the rest of you. Immediately goes to Morgan and engages Morgan in a conversation. At which point they go below decks, and you assume that they're going to the bottom storage room. At which point the Silver Dragonborn comes back from checking the ship's cargo manifest, and basically comes up to you guys and says, "I understand the horses and cart in the cargo hold are yours."
That is correct.
Well, unfortunately, they weren't logged on the ship's cargo manifest when the ship departed, so I'm afraid we're going to have to check them over. You can have them back in 12 hours, but in 12 hours' time, the Port Authority is going to be closed, so you'll have to come back tomorrow.
Very well.
Shouldn't be big of a problem. Probably one of the days rest after this journey.
He tears off a sheet of paper from his pad, says, "Hand this in at the Port Authority and you get your stuff back."
Thank you.
V's gonna sort of lean over to Arya and be like, "What could possibly be wrong with the horses?"
I have no idea.
They're probably checking, what came with it to make sure there's nothing, fishy going on.
Well,
Like what?
that we haven't stolen them. Like,
Yeah, Vondal's just gonna shrug and be like, it's just what they've got to do. Better safe than sorry.
Rules is rules.
Yeah, and that.
Dragonborn
Rules
sure
are
love
rules.
their rules.
Then I think we're gonna get along great.
No.
Okay,
No. Don't do it.
so
I do love a good rule book.
you find yourselves left on the docks of Port Karthel with very little idea of what to actually do.
Sweet land.
Have I been here before?
You have been here a couple of times. Mostly just to the fish market, because when you were younger, you used to help out. Basically, because you'd come with a basket of fish in the morning, help man the stall for like half the day, and then go home in the evening. Yeah, and that was basically like you'd make a little bit of money helping out the elders, who are the one because most of the able-bodied people in your village do the fishing, and then they pass the fish off to the elders, and then the elders go and sell it in the port.
That's fair.
But yeah, you've been here before, mostly to the fish market, but that's basically like all you've seen of the port, really.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask if I need a place that we could stay, but that probably wouldn't. Be
A thought as well. You probably signed up for your conscription here as well, so you know where the military bit is. But
Stay away from that side.
as for lodging, you don't really know.
Okay, well, I guess because unless somebody else has another suggestion on it, I guess she would head for the fish market because that's what she knows, and maybe there's somebody there that she might recognize that she could ask a question.
Just
But also,
Okay.
I don't know how
Want
far
to
it
be
is.
recognized?
It's not very far away.
I mean, the only people that I don't want to be really recognized by are people that are associated with the military or higher up. The general population probably won't care as much, maybe? I think. That's what she hopes, at least.
Again, as far as you understand, there's no outstanding warrant against you. You will just be looked
Shame.
down upon in status.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody
Also-
wants to hunt me.
Guys, it's so hot. I made this autumn outfit because it's the end of summer and I was hot again.
Yeah.
It is certainly very warm.
It's
Yeah.
not that bad.
It's
It
It
pretty
is also
hot.
it also
It's not
reeks of
Fucking
fish.
insane.
Says the person who's lived in it.
But before we head off, we should probably check in with the captain, making sure everything.
That's a good point.
So we
Yep.
should actually get
Settle-
paid, I believe.
Yeah, if you wait around, he comes up from the thing with the dude who's in with bearing the military insignia, who sort of you catch the end of the conversation. He's sort of like, well, that all seems to be in order. We'll have it shipped to the High Admiralty's office in the morning. And and he probably signs off on a piece of paper and then hands Morgan a chunk of gold. Quite a lot of gold, actually, like more gold than you've ever seen handed over in a regular business transaction.
That's because this isn't a regular business transaction.
Well, shit.
It's like almost like 300 gold.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh. Sweet.
But yeah, he sees you guys and says, well, I take it you'll be off then.
Aye. As soon as we're finished.
Yeah. Well, he sort of says, one moment, in my office, please.
So wait, did we like walk off the ship and then like walk back on it? Because
Yeah, like he's coming down the gangplank because
that's
you
really
guys were
funny.
standing on the dock, and then he's like, yeah, he takes you back into his office for a moment.
no, I just think that's funny when it ends up like that.
Well, like we didn't want to.
Bear in mind, there's like a solid like 15 minutes that this has all been going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, he takes you into his office and he hands all of you sans V an envelope.
Motherfucker.
Because you're not an employee.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and he basically says, there's your payment and a little something to say thank you for the extra effort that you put in.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
Actually, I will actually like get a little closer and kind of whisper to him.
We're inside.
I know you guys are there. Like, but I'm whispering.
Yeah,
so-
he's lowering his voice so that nobody can overhear from outside.
No. Also, you guys can't hear.
Oh, you want to talk to him in private?
I can lick
Wow.
you, motherfucker.
Yeah, but look, I'm just gonna try and be quiet, and I'm gonna be like, if it isn't too much trouble, could you just give the passenger passenger just a little something, because she really feels cheated, even if it's just a thank you, perhaps, or just any confirmation of her
I
worth.
can know what you're saying.
Look,
Okay, so V lip reads like literally all of that. Make me a persuasion check.
Christ.
look, I'm just trying to have him be nice. Persuasion.
Okay.
Where is it? There we go.
Wow.
Okay, before Grim even finishes that sentence, I'm literally grabbing him by the ear and dragging him out of the.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Wow, shit.
Holy shit.
Oh, I should
dude.
have done this in advance.
I mean, are you gonna resist this?
I think I know what's going on.
Okay, I'll take that as a no. So you
No.
get dragged.
V's face is probably like pretty red, and it's kind of hard to tell whether she's like embarrassed or whether she's like mad at you.
Probably
She's
both.
like- She's like, Grim, do not treat me like a child.
Look, I just wanted to make sure he show you some respect, because you really wanted it to.
Not in the
And-
form of money. Money's so stupid.
No, but like I said, just give her a little something, or at least your gratitude. You know, look, it's tricky because it's business, and money is always like a good way of showing that you value something.
I don't want the
You-
money anyway.
Yeah, but like it's the main way for people to show it, like in a business fashion. Because
That's
it's still a
dumb.
business relationship we have with him. But yeah.
Look, I know I don't look as strong as you guys, but it's just annoying
whatever he says now or does now doesn't change the fact that he didn't think that I was good enough to work with him on his ship or whatever.
Well, it isn't because you aren't good enough. It's just because you
It's
don't.
because I don't look good enough. I know
No,
that.
it's just, yeah, well, you don't. You aren't built for this kind of work. Like, remember down in the hold when we had to secure the barrels? Like, you helped and we managed together, but it was kind of a mess at first. At our first attempt, it was.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for me, then you guys would still be at sea because you couldn't tell turtles how to move a ship.
Yeah, but see, the problem is, he can't tell that you can move turtles. He can't see you can move mountains just by looking at you. That's the problem. Like, out of 900,000 people, like, you're probably the only one, or maybe there might be one other that can do the same thing. So it's like you're just too special. People don't recognize special.
I know that. It's just frustrating. I feel like in our group, you guys all look like super cool and stuff, and I'm just kind of there, and people don't. I feel like people don't treat me the same way.
That
Not
is-
even you guys sometimes.
That is very true. I think we're always just a little more afraid of your fragile nature. Because even though you will blow up people with your magic missiles or everything with your thunder sphere, it's just scary. And it's like, I guess we're just all worried that we might lose you. And like, because if I get hit by a rock in the face, I'll probably be fine. But that same rock might keep you down, forever. Although I guess now we have like Vondal could bring you back.
Yeah, but that would still be kind of
I don't
weird,
know.
I think. Wouldn't
I
it?
think death is a little uneasy. Besides, how are you gonna keep the balance of life and death if you're dead? Although I
Yeah.
guess you would have a little bit more experience with the dead part.
I know that Kelariis resurrected that guy, I guess, which is a little weird, because I don't know. Am I supposed to respect that? Am I supposed to not respect that? We're getting out of topic.
Yeah,
I still don't
sure.
want you to ask that guy to
I have
anything.
a suggestion for you. Because there is one way you can get people's respect without having the physical appearance. And that is by having something to show them. Like an emblem or like some kind of name you attach to it. So what if it's still going to take some work? What if we sign you up to the Amber Eagle? Like it's not big yet, but eventually, just by saying that name, people will know they have to respect you, and you'll get treated better, perhaps.
Okay, I can live with that. That sounds cool.
Like people
But
don't
only
know.
if you're a really good leader and you're not the bad command you were talking about.
Oh, that's a story for another time. But yeah, I'll tell you that after we've gotten through all the paperwork and stuff that this is going to involve. But
Okay.
yeah, it's
And then I can be V of the Amber Eagle.
Oh my
Yes.
god. Holy shit.
Roll credits.
look,
Roll credits.
Rolls up and down.
look, I'm going to say it's still going to take some work because the name isn't quite big yet, but I'm sure we can get there.
Yeah, and I can help you in making it big.
I don't know. How about we?
I can't believe you've conned V into this.
It's not a con.
It's kind of a con.
It's not a
Really
con.
not.
It's just a recruitment drive.
Look, it's you gotta make people feel good about being recruited. You know.
I can't
Could've-
believe you slipped a recruitment into that.
It
It was kind of good.
adorable.
Look, it felt appropriate, and even now.
Yeah, no, I think it was appropriate.
Also, he's got a point.
Now we can get back in there, and we can tell him. Well, if he ever thinks he needs someone again, he can try find the Amber Eagle, and
Yeah.
he'll try find you.
Okay. But don't tell him anything like you just said.
Fine. Well, you can tell him yourself.
I will.
So yeah, in the meantime, while this conversation has been had, sort of V drags Grim out by the ear, and there's just this frantic muffled yelling from outside, and Morgan just sort of looks at the door, looks at his hands, looks at you guys, and says, "He's got problems, that one."
Grim?
Aye.
We know.
Well, don't we all?
Right. Well, if that's all the business we have, then I guess I'll wish you all the best on the road. And if you're ever looking for work again, I guess you'd be an ample fit.
Till next we meet, then.
You sort of there's a little awkward moment where it's just sort of that you kind of want to leave but you can still hear yelling outside, and then you just and then they come back in.
Disregard everything Grim said.
I usually do, lass.
Oh, shots fired.
Damn.
Boom!
Damn.
Oh, good.
Well, if that's all, I've got work to get on with.
Let us depart.
Are you gonna say it or?
I think we have to leave considering we are on his boat.
Yeah, we should.
Ah, okay, fine. No, I thought I was gonna give you the opportunity, but well, in case you ever need to find us, think with something's going on, the Amber Eagle is the place to go.
Not really
Oh,
a
man.
place yet.
Yeah.
I know, but if you ask for it, you can try. You know,
It's
You
the
can refer
name
around.
to seek out.
It's
Name.
a lead.
He writes it down on a piece of paper.
Sick.
nice.
Sick.
Okay. You disembark the boat. You are still sort of not really sure where to go.
We need a place to sleep.
We could
Yeah.
probably find somewhere.
It shouldn't be too hard. It's not the first time I've been in a strange town with no idea what's where. It's nowhere near the hardest thing we have to do.
I mean, I know where some things are just not necessarily a place to sleep, but I could probably find out.
Well, we could just ask
Yep.
anyone on the street who lives here. Probably have an idea.
I mean, we maybe not right near the docks because some of them might not be from here.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, let's.
Lead the way then, native who can somehow deal with the heat.
I mean, I'm not from here, but I know one place in this in this town.
Wait, you say you're not from here. You're literally
here specifically.
half a day's walk from
Okay.
from here.
Look, I meant here specifically. But
Yeah.
yes, you're right.
Lead the way, oh warm one.
To the fucking
Yeah.
fish market, the only place I know.
Cool. So you start walking through the streets. You immediately all are aware that none of you can understand any of the conversations that are going on, with the exception of Kelariis, because
Oh, God.
everybody here speaks Draconic.
Also, I'll have you guys know, Kelariis is not the warm one. Thalithsyr is the warm one. Kelariis is the shocking one.
Yeah.
Look,
bad
it's too
joke.
it's too long to say. Oh, warmth resistant.
Yeah. So, as you are walking through streets towards the fish market, you pass like a number of sort of warehouse buildings, and you eventually come basically to what is like essentially like a large open square, not too far from the docks themselves. And yeah, basically there is a huge fish market that is open. Although it looks like it's people are beginning to sort of like close down for the late afternoon, evening. Kelariis, do you want to roll me a perception check?
Sure.
See if you recognize anybody.
Oh boy.
Okay.
It's been a hot second.
Yeah, you look around. Your initial glance, you don't see anybody that you recognize. Until as your gaze sort of like sweeps past, you hear somebody call your name in Draconic.
Oh. Helena, no.
And yeah, you see a like running towards you, waving, is a young bronze dragonborn that you recognize.
Oh.
That's way better.
Music got real sweet all of a sudden.
It did.
Yeah. Oh, lovely.
That is some sweet music.
Hella sweet.
Oh shit! I'm running immediately.
Okay.
What?
Kelariis
Yeah.
takes off at a sprint.
Oh my god!
We heard,
Shit, I wasn't
like,
ready
we
for
heard
this.
we heard this noise, which doesn't even sound like Kelariis' name to us.
Oh,
Okay.
when you said my name in Draconic, you meant like the name that the Sierra called me, or it calls me as well.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
He,
I
they
thought
would definitely
you-
call you that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that suddenly makes a lot more sense.
Yes.
Looks at source of noise, looks at Kelariis, looks at Tallithsyr confused.
Looks at the rest of the party.
Everybody looks confused, but Kelariis runs towards this small dragonborn child.
Oh,
Oh no. Is he still like? Can I still like? I'm assuming he's small enough that I can.
Oh yeah, you
literally
could like
super-
definitely pick him up. Yeah.
Yes, I do that. Give him a big hug.
Okay. Yeah. You just like pick him up.
Okay, I'm less confused now because I thought you meant she was running
Me
away.
too, I totally thought she was running away.
I did not think she was running away.
No, definitely running towards.
Running toward.
Right,
Oh.
right. Okay.
Kelariis sees a small dragonborn child. It's just like, I'm legging it.
I'm out.
Bye.
It's the same reaction as Wonder Woman.
I mean, yeah, pretty
Just
much.
a baby.
Anyway, so yeah, like a frantic conversation in Draconic sort of begins, and it's sort of what are you doing here? How are you? I didn't know you were gonna be here.
Yeah. I think like Kelariis is kind of at a loss for words, but in the sense of just saying the really mundane question
Yeah.
like that. I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't
Nope.
prepared. I just wanted to go to the fish market and find someplace to stay.
The fields will track you down wherever you try to hide.
No, they won't.
Well, you walked directly into it.
You did.
True, but I wasn't expecting it. Oh.
Yeah.
I should have expected this. I wasn't
Yeah.
though.
As you sort of have your frantic, hurried conversation, like a figure comes up behind him, and it is an older gentleman that you don't like recognize him at first sight, but because like he looks a lot older. But you do actually recognize him as one of the elders who would have been sort of like probably like in the beginnings of old age, just as you left.
Oh boy.
So he's probably aged. I think you were in the military for like 3 years. Or you've since you joined the military, it's been like 3 years or something like that.
Yeah, like maybe almost 4 years at this point, probably.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Considering, yeah.
Yeah, he now looks significantly older, and you don't recognize him at first, and you weren't ever like sort of like that close to this individual in the first place. But he recognizes you. Yeah, he just sort of says, oh, "Hello there," and yeah, just sort of lets you have your reunion.
Hi, it's it's been a while. I don't know how far I left behind everybody else, but I assume that they.
Yeah, they're like 10 feet back, sort of like, the fuck.
You just left your foreign friends behind. What do we do?
Yeah, none of them can understand this conversation either.
I was gonna say none of us can understand what the fuck
Oh,
you're saying.
Yep, that is true.
Literally left your foreign friends behind, and now we're just standing there confused and alone.
I am so sorry.
Scared.
We don't speak the language. Maybe I should have picked up a phrase book before we left.
Yeah.
I think Sarah understands all of it, but she's the only one that understands any of it.
Oh yes, yeah, good.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
Tallithsyr's probably just sort of like hanging around on the periphery and just sort of like waves, because she doesn't know who these people are.
Yeah. I think I kind of like realized that I literally sprinted off through the fish market, or like the packing up of the
Yeah.
fish market. And
Like
left all my friends.
there's a lot of people just sort of like watching you.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. And do I know the name of the older one?
Yes, but I don't.
Okay, that's okay. I introduce the older dragon, as respectfully, because
Yeah.
elder. I have respect. I might not like all the laws, but I have respect.
Yeah, this is a culture thing rather than a law thing. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I say, and this is my younger brother. This is Nabo.
What?
you look at them, you can kind of see the similarities.
Both look dragonborn.
Wow.
They have a very similar jawline.
Well, hello.
And I introduce everybody. Everybody. And yeah.
Does he speak common?
I'll do a little
does he?
bow.
Probably not as well as he might speak like broken phrases, but
Right.
most of your education came from being in the military, and he's not military age yet. He's still like
Yeah, that's fair.
young child.
He's so young. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
You're so young.
When you say
Well,
young, how young?
Like probably like 4 or 5, right?
No, a little bit older than that. Like,
Like 10?
like maybe like 7 or 8.
Also, I love how
Okay.
Kelariis was just like, can I pick him up? Bitch, you have 20 strength.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can pick
Yeah.
whatever the fuck you want up.
You can pick most of them.
Yeah.
this is fair.
He
but
is-
it was...
He is like 7 or 8, but he is like also basically the same size as the Vondal and Grim.
Well,
So very easy to pick up for Kelariis.
Yeah. I wasn't sure like how tall and grown, because it's been like 4 years nearly.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, when you left, he was still sort of like only just stringing coherent sentences together.
oh god, it's been oh no.
so
Claire's
we're all
is a
just
fucking
watching
mess
Kelariis
right now.
melt.
Yeah.
And just standing there. Being
I mean,
like,
that's pretty much like I have flashbacks to when Arya met her little brother.
"Hmm,
Granted, she didn't know she had one, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
Alright.
was a experience for you. Words are really difficult right now. I look to the older dragonborn and say, we just got to town. You know where would be the best place for us to stay for the night? We have some business to finish up in the morning, and I think if it's okay with my friends, I'd like to come and visit home.
Yeah, he sort of says, well, we've got the old cart. We could, I suppose we could fit a couple of you in there. Would be nice to have some company for the way back. It wouldn't. You could walk there. It would be like dusk by the time you got back, but you could definitely walk there.
Oh. I didn't even think about that. I was just like, oh, we're just gonna stay in the town.
That's okay. I don't think Kelariis would have thought of that either.
God, Kelariis is a fuck. I'm a mess right now. Kelariis is a mess right now. This is a great time, guys.
It's okay. You don't need to roleplay.
Yeah.
Wow.
The best kind.
Um,
Just be you.
I assumed that was said in Draconic, so I relay that to
Yeah.
everybody in not Draconic, in common.
Yeah.
I'm okay with
Oh.
sleeping outside. Although,
Yeah,
when
you
get
are
back-
definitely not going to fit all of them in your family home.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
Outside's fine.
I mean, it really doesn't bother
Wouldn't be
me.
the first time.
we have fence.
He
so-
doesn't bother me anyway.
We do have fence.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was gonna say, V's like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Trees.
Noah's like, yeah, come back.
Oh. I mean, I don't. If you'd all rather actually sleep in, like a bed or something, we can stay for the night.
I don't really
here,
sleep
but-
in beds.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Also,
None of us mind.
we've been on a boat for like weeks. I want to be outside. I want to
Okay.
I want to feel the ground under my feet.
I can agree with that one. Like, it's great not being your stomach churned every
Like, come on.
every
we're
day.
Not, we're not strangers to sleeping outside, are we? And we have tents. It wouldn't quite be outside if we didn't want it to be.
True.
Are there bugs here?
Oh yes.
It's like that's me asking for hours.
I mean, we've been to a swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I mean,
We've been through worse.
yeah, but like in the swamp, someone got sick.
I think this might be more like irritating bugs. than
Yeah.
Sick bugs, maybe? Yeah.
Like, just
pest bugs.
There is almost certainly mosquitoes.
Wait.
Oh.
Are you telling me there's non-irritating bugs in the world?
Butterflies.
Yeah, the ones that
Nice
leave you alone.
bugs.
there's plenty of them.
There are.
V
there
is
are bugs
very
that are nice
offended
and
by
neat.
the assertion that all bugs are annoying.
To be fair, Vondal.
There are nice bugs. Look, conjures bugs.
Oh no! Kills everyone!
To be fair, Vondal's probably not used to any bugs. I don't think you
Literally,
get many
he's-
bugs up
He's
mountains.
gonna walk away and use the staff to create butterflies. Like, many.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
You cause a massive civil disturbance.
I was I mean, it was probably. I mean, honestly, are they the kind of butterflies that would live here anyway? Because if not, you've just like
But-
fucked up this ecosystem.
If
They don't last.
they're not real butterflies.
Oh, okay,
Also,
well, that's good.
it creates a whatever it is, like 30-foot radius of like heavily obscured with butterflies.
God.
Yeah.
The insects are made for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my
Can you not
god.
dismiss it?
What have
Uh,
you done?
Maybe
Let's
we
leave.
should go. now.
Maybe we should leave.
Yeah, like everyone is just like watching this shit, and like Nabo is just like, "Whoa, that's so cool."
I realize I can't actually dispel this.
Oh my god.
We should get going, maybe.
Arya just shakes her head.
It's for 10 minutes.
At least it's
And it's
not
centered on me, so I'll just walk away maybe.
centered on you. Oh god.
Oh, it stays with you.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
God's sake.
Oh my god. Okay, so V's gonna walk 10 feet behind us.
Maybe we should just
30
wait it
feet.
out.
More like
30
30
feet.
feet.
Yeah.
Oh
let's just wait it out. We'll just wait this
Yeah.
out.
Sorry.
V's just in the middle of all these
We're just
fucking
stood there,
butterflies.
surrounded
God.
by butterflies
Yeah.
for 10 minutes.
I don't use this ability enough to know what it does.
That's fair.
I think the older Dragonborn turns to Kelariis and says, "It's still getting into trouble, I see."
Oh, that never stops.
Oh, I never
I'm
thought
sad.
it would.
I'm sad he doesn't say that. Oh well.
Yeah, if there's any packing up left to do, I'll help with that while we wait for the butterflies
Oh
to
yeah,
take care of themselves.
it goes very quickly with not being a small child and an old man.
Fucking butterflies.
Christ.
It's fine.
So many.
Wait, how many charges did I use for this? Oh, one charge.
One charge.
God.
Oh, there was only one. Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Lord.
So,
It's
wait,
very cheap.
oh,
I could literally have butterflies around me for 100 minutes per day.
That is too much.
That's
Don't
no,
do
it's
that.
long time.
No, it's not.
Anyway,
I guess I kind of explained to the others that, like, I'm literally from a smaller town not far from here.
Yeah.
For context, because they're just like, where are we going?
Got you, fam.
Tallithsyr's like, wait, we're going to your house?
Yes.
She
Yes.
seems weirdly excited by this.
Oh.
He's so cute.
Right, so let's Right, so that's just me and Grim left then, who need to take you guys home.
I think
Look,
so.
we're hitting those the checklist.
And honestly, Grim, I think your parents would be happier to see a group of to see this than my parents.
Mine are perfectly fine with it. Like, I grew up with stories of people like us.
As long as you pay your bar tab, they'd love to see you.
Vondal always pays
Wow.
the bar tab.
They sound just like Grim.
Yeah.
Apple never falls far from the tree.
You know, I'm not sure my mother would be happy to see me, let alone all you guys as well.
You already met my family, so.
That's why I said it's just me and Grim left.
Yeah. So you pack up the stall, you go out to this, like, it's this old donkey cart that just, like, you remember it, but you don't remember it being this tatty.
Oh no.
And sort of they get up onto it, and the old man just sort of like gives you the reins. He's like, "Would you do the honors?"
I'd love to. It's been so long.
'Cause this is basically the same cart you learned to drive in.
Oh shit,
Aw.
yes.
You should summon your horse.
I know, I was thinking maybe
yeah.
it's
Freak
someone-
everybody out. Like, what?
Just really just pile on all this weird shit.
No, I think they've seen enough weird shit today.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they just saw some magical butterflies appear out of nowhere and
Many
stay there for
Uh,
10 minutes.
Unless it seems like this poor donkey you said?
Yeah, it's a donkey.
Yeah, is gonna struggle real hard.
No, it's like it's a fairly muscular, sturdy donkey.
Okay. Hey, buddy. God.
You don't think it recognizes you, but it's just it doesn't seem bothered by a new driver.
Yeah, that's fair.
Donkeys are pretty good for
Yeah, I don't even know if
carrying
it's the
people.
same one as before, honestly. It's probably not.
Considering the lifespan of a donkey, no.
Yeah, so. So, we'll head out.
Yeah, sure. So I actually forgot to upload the image for this. I'm just doing it very quickly.
Donkey's pretty good at hauling shit.
Yeah, that is true.
The only thing I can think of that's better for pulling a cart full of people is a mule.
Well, normally it doesn't pull a cart full of people. It pulls a cart full of fish.
Well,
So,
yeah, that too.
Cool.
Same concept still applies.
Yeah. Okay, so you head off on this cart, and it doesn't take you very long at all to make it back to the village. And as you approach it, you see it lit by like a number of lanterns, and you are just filled with memories of your hometown.
Oh my god.
Yes!
This is great.
This is so good.
Yep. It's like you, as you pull into the town, like you come past this like large pigsty that you just the memory that fills your brain is just as the day when you were younger and the fence broke and you spent the entire day chasing pigs around town trying to get them back in the fucking pig pen.
I can't fucking believe. Yeah, okay.
But yes, basically, as the sun is setting, you arrive in your home village, which is basically like just a couple of huts, and basically a small path that leads down to the water's edge, where there's like a bunch of fishing shacks and some boats on like log rack things. Yeah, and basically, like, you stop outside the large house, which you know to be the older Dragonborn's house. He gets off, and you just like unload all the fish boxes and just stick them on the thing outside, knowing that basically by midday tomorrow they're going to be full of fish again. And yeah, there are a number of sort of like curious individuals in the streets who would just sort of regard this new arrivals with curiosity.
I mean, we are a pretty weird band.
You are a very weird band.
Especially in
We
like
are.
the middle of bumfuck nowhere Dragonborn land.
Hey, we're not
Wow.
totally bumfuck
Damn.
nowhere.
You are pretty bumfuck nowhere.
I mean, but we are also like, you know, less than a day's travel to presumably a prosperous market, you know, port town.
Yeah, dominated primarily by Dragonborn.
Yeah.
You are very far south at this point.
This music is so good.
It is.
I know.
I'm enjoying
Very
it.
good.
Yeah.
I love Legend of Zelda.
So,
Yeah.
presumably, with a bit of excited nagging from Navo, you go home.
Yeah. Everybody with me.
Okay.
Sure.
Take
Oh, yes.
everybody to meet the family. I think,
So-
like,
Although,
halfway
depending on the
through-
size, you might want to bring them outside.
I mean,
But,
yeah,
I
but,
imagine
like,
it'd be.
Yeah, your house is not super big.
Yeah.
It fits the four of you, but there are days when the house feels tiny.
yeah. I think, like, halfway to actually, like, being at her door, I think she gets, like, really nervous.
Yeah.
Like, really, really nervous, and I think
Aw.
it's kind of apparent. She's not good at hiding that.
Just put a hand on her shoulder.
Yeah, Arya does the same thing. She's like, I feel you, my dude. I've been here.
Guys. But she kind of like squares her shoulders and I guess like adjusts whatever clothes she's wearing. So she
Yeah.
doesn't look like she's, come off a boat. She totally came off a boat, but that's nothing new.
What else is
As
gonna
long as
say?
there
Like,
isn't any bloodstains on it, it's fine.
yeah.
I think we've
we don't
Probably
actually
taken
know
care-
that.
But
we've
Vondal's
had a
just
couple
gonna
of
be like,
days. Surely we've taken care of that.
Yeah, like you're not wearing dirty clothes.
Okay, yeah.
And I'll mend any like cuts.
Just like as you're going.
She's just like, I imagine V's just like twirling around you, like fixing
Yeah.
Yeah.
all of the
God.
stains and cuts on your
Yeah.
clothes.
I'm doing it for all of us. Come on.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I just imagine you like twirling around like a literal fairy.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
So
alright for V.
And Vondal's just gonna be like, no matter what happens, probably won't be as bad as what I'll get.
Wow.
thanks
I
for the
think
vote of
that's the most
confidence.
comforting. Thanks, Vondal.
So yeah, I guess as you approach the door, Nabo just pushes open the door. Like there's no latch on the door or anything. There's like,
Yeah. It's nice.
he just walks in and he calls out in Draconic, "Mama, Papa, Shivi is here." And much to the surprise of everybody, you're like that. Coming like up very quickly to the door are two bronze dragonborn who also resemble Kelariis. And yeah,
Surprise.
honestly, they look like quite old for like dragonborn. Like they're not like super old, but they are older looking.
Oh no!
Sorry, this is a lot of feel.
Yeah, and there is a moment where they just like sort of stop and they're like looking at you, and there is like a freeze frame moment. What do you say?
I'm home. I'm home. I missed you guys. Ta-da! Fucking Arya in the background.
Oh my god! Oh my
Really
god!
slowly.
No, what she actually says is, "Sorry, it's been so long."
Okay. So there's no response to what it is that you say. There's just like there's just a beat where everybody is silent, and then your mother just walks forward and just like hugs you. And that's where we're gonna end.
Everybody else is just like, this is awkward. We don't understand what anybody's saying. We're just standing here with Kelariis being emotional with her parents.
Actions speak 1,000 words.
So, with that, I think it's time for you all to tell me what it is that you have learned today, whilst I calculate some experience.
Take it away, Jayla.
Uh,
Unless you need to think.
no, I can do this.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with the easier bit, which was the combat from earlier. Being held and being dragged into the water is kind of terrifying.
Yep.
Because if I got knocked unconscious, I would have just fucking died, probably, or something. I don't know.
It would have been pretty bad for
It would
you,
have been
yeah.
not great. Yeah, I mean, I trust you guys would have like kicked their asses and saved me from drowning, but it's also terrifying to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck getting charmed. That's not cool. Kelariis made her save. I made my save, but like seeing people just kind of walk off the boat is still really weird. So yeah, that's not great. Also, don't trust suspicious ships out in the middle of nowhere. And make friends with all the wildlife. Thanks, V.
Yep.
Honestly, the greatest idea, though. I'm really glad. I'm really happy that worked. That was
Yeah.
really cool.
If you've ever wondered what it's like to inject a Disney princess into a fantasy role-playing universe, that was a masterclass in how to problem solve.
Yeah, it worked really well. And
I don't know
it was
what
good.
Rob expected from that scene.
It is a blank page in my notes which basically means players can work this out themselves, and well, I guess you kinda did.
Technically.
I mean, we got there eventually.
Yeah, we did.
It just took a little while.
Just took a while.
Um,
We always get there in the end.
yeah, somehow. Probably.
Maybe.
But yeah, I guess always be prepared to meet people from your past in kind of dramatic and unexpected ways.
True that, my dude.
Because
Yeah.
I was not ready to. I was
Amen.
thinking, oh, just go to the fish market. Maybe there's
Yeah.
somebody I recognize from whenever I was last here. Nope. I mean, yes, but not in the way I thought.
Yeah.
Not in the way I thought at
You
all.
met people much closer than you thought you were going to meet.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was not expecting you to go there until tomorrow, which was why it was interesting.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I guess because for her, that's what she knows in that
Yeah,
port
no.
town. So that's where she'd
Also,
go to
Jayla's
try.
hungry.
Also, yeah. Also, Jayla's hungry. So fish sounds really great. No, but I think Kelariis is still really nervous. And she
Yeah.
was, I think, from the moment she realized, oh god, I'm going home, like, now.
Yeah.
She thought she was gonna have a little bit of time to prepare and, like, talk to everybody and be like, hey, could we, like, stop there on the way? Down further south. But yeah, that, just happened now. So she's,
Especially as like literally the only knowledge your family have of what actually transpired is a letter that you sent them that you never got a response to.
Yep. So that's great. And the only thing they heard before that was that I basically was disgraced. So,
Yeah.
yep, this is kind of terrifying to go back. But she's also, I think she's also really happy to be back home because it's been a really long time for her. And seeing her brother have like grown up this much is kind of weird, but it's kind of nice. And it's a very, she has a lot of mixed emotions right now. Most of them are good.
The other half are
Yeah.
terror.
Yeah, a lot of it's just like, oh god, help. I mean, on the bright side, her brother didn't immediately give her like a look of disgust, so that's good,
Yeah.
I guess. And neither did the older Dragonborn, so I mean, that's also good. But yeah, that was a lot out of nowhere.
Indeed.
In and out of character. Yep.
Mm. Cool. Well, experience for this week is actually really easy because it turns out that encounter came to exactly 5,000 experience. So,
Nice.
It's a
that
nice
is.
chunk.
Well, it's not 5,000 individually, it's 5,000 cumulative, so it is.
Oh, fucker.
So for
Yeah.
total, it's 1,500 each.
Nice.
Cool.
That's still pretty
I
good.
was getting
That's
really
still
excited.
that's still a decent amount of experience, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, who's next?
I could go next. Well, I think I'll start with the fight. Was definitely interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Felt very overwhelming to begin with, but then like once we kind of stabilized, everything went fairly well, I'd say.
Yes. That fight could have gone a lot worse. A lot more of you could have failed the saving throw. Because that was DC 16 for anyone who was interested.
Oof.
Oh my
Dang.
god, me and Arya just passed.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, I figured out this 16 from the but that doesn't really matter. Yeah, that was tough. I still not sure about like we rest that guy and then we basically just left him alone and didn't even talk to him.
Hey, look, he was.
Oh,
dude, he just died.
Yeah, I imagine in the 2 days there was a conversation that was like, hey, thanks for saving my life. I have no
Oh.
idea how you did that, but thank you.
Well, yeah, okay, but we didn't like actually do anything like, RP wise with it.
No.
Um,
That's my bad, actually. I could have done that, but...
well, I guess we didn't take the initiative either. As like interesting having a little bit more interaction with the captain again.
Yep. You almost got him to like you, and then you had a moment.
I know, it's great.
Never go full grim.
Always go full grim. Makes life more interesting.
If you go full grim, if you want people to almost like you.
Sounds
Anyway.
about right, honestly.
Okay. But yeah, of course, V is now well next in line to become a member. Well, like unofficially already is. Now we just need to take time and
Yeah, just need paperwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was very thematic.
yeah, like it really worked with the way Helena set it up. This week.
I set it up. Totally intentional.
Well, like not that you set up like this specific result.
Yeah,
but,
you
like,
set up the scene.
The way the scene was set up, I kind of felt like that was the most natural solution. Like it's the best thing I can do, and like eventually it's like a good thing for all of us. I believe. Well, I guess we'll find out until the Amber Eagle's wanted and we're being hunted down across the
Oh
country.
no.
But let's hope it doesn't come to that. Yeah, interesting was Kelariis. We learned a little backstory on Vondal, which I'm definitely gonna use when I go back at them with some more questions.
Yep.
There's a lot of information this session. A lot of RP character development, a little bit.
Yeah, I felt like
Backstory.
this session had a good balance of sort of, it had character development, it had combat, and it had puzzle solving, which I thought was a good mix of sort of like the three main chunks.
And well, the most important thing is we actually got through them fairly
Yep.
efficiently, or like in a decent pace.
Yeah, those
Unrealistic.
those sirens had a lot of nasty tricks in their bag that you managed to pile on top of them and deal with before they became too much of a danger.
I think they did plenty of damage.
Oh, they did, but they had more.
Good to know in case they show up again, or more show up. These are dead. That's basically it. Okay. Did I miss anything important?
Don't think so.
Yeah, I think you got everything.
Oh, the only thing I realized is we never figured out what's in the envelopes we got.
I assume money.
Oh, yes, actually, do you want to note that down? Because... it is... it is 115 silver.
That's not a lot of money.
Oh, that's 11.5 gold.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Considering you were only supposed to be paid, I think it was like 17 silver.
Wait, is this each or combined?
Each.
Okay, like each, then it's incredibly good.
Yes.
I'm assuming that includes Sudar stuff.
Includes Zudar, includes Thalithsyr, but not V.
That's probably like to Thalithsyr, that is probably so much money.
Yes. Well, Thalithsyr hasn't opened hers yet, so she doesn't know yet, but...
Nice.
Just add that.
And I guess I should probably pay Sudar as
well. You weren't going to pay him for the 2 weeks because he was technically a free agent for that because he was working on the boat, so...
Well, I won't say no to saving money.
Fucking grim.
Well, that was the agreement you made before when you got on the boat, because you were like, what do I do? What are we going to do about our arrangement? And he was like, whatever.
Well, just always good to double check. I guess that's definitely it then.
Cool, yeah, 1500 experience.
Although I guess there is like finally the first backstory hints.
Oh yeah.
Or well, not first, but the first ones recognized in the agent.
Yeah, first of a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like a small lead for more or talking about more with the
Mm-hmm.
that was last.
Cool, yeah, 1500 experience.
I guess I'll segue into this. Yeah, I thought the combat this time around was different from last time, because last time was like really long combat and I was really running out of spell slots, while this time around I only used like 3, so it was like a lot quicker, but it also felt like, oh shit, if we don't deal with this soon, we're kind of screwed.
Yes. Yeah, it was a very explosive setup because it could either go really well for you or really badly. And in the start it went really badly, and then it went really well.
Yeah, it would have been also a lot more. Well, I guess it wouldn't have been more dangerous if they would have taken my component pouch, but I was still like, how dare you?
Yeah, those octopuses were
motherfucker.
incredibly ineffective in the end product. They did not make a single check.
Wow. Really?
Well, it was a save, but the save was against DC 10, so
Still, it would have sucked for me to lose my component.
it would, because you wouldn't have been able to cast anything until you got it back.
Well, I have some stuff that's
Oh yeah, you got some
Yeah.
stuff that doesn't require component stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. I thought my talk with Grim was pretty funny. I thought it was very amusing that he decided to, can you just like give something to V, like right in front of her, while he probably knows she can lip read, and she was just like, the fucking audacity here. Yeah, and I thought the talk was pretty sweet. The fact that you guys were just like, oh my god, he's conning you into joining, but I thought it was really, really nice of him.
Yeah, because the thing that V really wants is to be recognized.
And I mean, back when, in like the first few sessions, I think Grim was also skeptical about itself, so...
Oh yeah, very.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have also grown massively in power.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone from, like...
Seen some shit, man.
I've seen some shit, and he has seen me casting some shit. So...
Mm.
we are past the days of casting 2 magic missiles a day.
Yeah.
And like previously, whenever you cast a big spell and wiped everything, Grim wasn't there every single time.
Really?
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, because he wasn't there for that time you just used a 5th level spell on a load of bugbears, was he?
No, he wasn't. You're right.
Which is
Yeah.
quite possibly the most impressive thing I've
Yeah.
seen you do.
I mean, they were all like really low level, but it was still like
Yeah.
it's
But
like
still, you killed a whole room full
consume
of people
everything.
on your
Yeah,
own.
it's still pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
also technically that wasn't my power; it was a staff. But anyway,
Still.
It was you, because the
Technically,
staff
it was
yours in
Neonath's
your
power.
possession.
it's true. And Neonaf is part of me.
Yes.
Yeah, I would
Exactly.
argue that,
The
yeah,
circle of life, bitch.
it's in your possession, therefore it's your power.
Speaking of the circle of life, bitch, I think
Wow.
Does it move us all?
That's a quote.
That is a quote.
well, I was gonna say like, V is also sort of thinking about that resurrection because as much as I was the one who suggested it as Helena, V didn't really have have like an input on that, and I think she is sort of like, should we be resurrecting people? Is that disrespectful to the circle of life? Is that weird? Should I be in support of this? And she doesn't really know how to feel about that yet.
I think that is a very good question to press forward with in future.
Yeah. Because it's been the first time that we've actively dealt with the resurrection.
Yes.
Or like, especially like the good kind of resurrection.
Yes.
So it's definitely sort of like, V's sort of thinking about it, but she doesn't really know where to take that.
Mhm.
So we'll see what she thinks in the end. And I think we should also have a talk about it, probably. Like, can we just talk about it? The fact that you just brought a guy back from the dead. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I really enjoyed the talk with Grim, and I also enjoyed pulling him by the ear.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, take your 1,500 experience.
Oh yeah.
It leaves but 2.
Go on, Luka, I'll go last for once.
Okay. Yeah, so sirens. Fuck sirens, my dude. I hate sirens. I was very concerned that we were gonna get more casualties than just that one guy in this battle.
Yeah.
Because this is like probably one of the objectively hardest fights we've had to do that isn't like a boss battle, quote unquote. Like when those mer people came out of the water, I was like, oh shit.
Yep.
And I just kept flashing back to the conversation we had after session last time, where you were like, yeah, so you guys want harder things? And I was like, I don't know about that.
Literally, I mentioned that to sort of the other group that I play with, and Rin was literally just like, Luke's gonna hate you.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine, and it's usually fine, but one time it's not gonna be fine. And we are gonna really regret it, but today it was okay.
So what I'm hearing is harder.
Maybe not harder than today's fight. I don't know about that.
Hit this level for a bit.
Yeah, this seems fine. And again, like, we have this trend where in hard battles, we tend to roll better. I mean, today was kind of all over the place, but in general. And then on,
Yeah.
like, the low-level trash, we just roll like shit. Which is always
Yeah.
fun.
Nobody failed to kill an octopus, so this is okay.
That's
Yeah.
true. And I was very worried that we were gonna fuck that up, and they were
Yeah.
gonna steal something. Like when that thing went for V's component pack, I was like, nope. Do not. Other than that, yeah, Arya is not loving the hot weather. She's
Nope.
more of a forest girl. And she's ready to not be in the sun all
You just-
day forever.
Sweating the blue off.
Yep, my Wogue is running. I don't think it runs, actually.
No, because it stains.
Yes. But she's pretty excited to meet Kelariis' family. See where she grew up and like what happened. And yeah, like seeing her scars today was like, I mean, Arya didn't really talk about it like in character as much. But I think it really, I mean, for some reason, well, not for some reason. There's definitely reasons, but Arya really respects Kelariis, and like seeing that scar like really reminded her why she respects Kelariis, because she's been through all this shit and she's still really kind. Which is something that Arya struggles with. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it, I think.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much on the nail. 1500 experience. Last but not least.
Also, I just want to say one more thing, because I remembered that I didn't say anything about the turtles. The turtles were
Oh,
really fun.
turtles. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the turtle.
yeah.
I have to say that
The-
was pretty inventive.
The
Dumbest-
randomly improvised turtles.
Dumbest decision we've ever made, but it was hilarious.
It worked.
So I had a when I improvised it, I had a scale of D100 from like least hostile to like most hostile. Least hostile being 1 and most hostile being 100. And I rolled the dice and I got 4. So you got a bunch of derpy turtles.
Otherwise, we would have like encountered like some huge fucking giant whatever the fuck that would just wanted to kill us.
Yeah, I mean there's like stats for like giant sharks and shit, so
And people would be like, never mind, run. Not friendly, not friendly.
Bad idea.
come back, I just want to eat you.
Shark.
Nope, instead we got derpy turtles, and they were great.
They were very nice.
At least they weren't the surfer dude turtles.
God.
Yeah, I didn't want to go too Finding Nemo with it.
Fair.
Yeah, sorry Rob for that whole scene.
That's okay. It's what I'm here for. Last but not least.
Yeah. I guess cover the combat first because it's easiest. Because that was an interesting combat of priorities.
It
Like,
was.
basically, that whole combat, I was sat there thinking, like, right, here's what I'm going to do when it gets around to my turn. Then another turn would happen, a new development would come up, and I'd be starting to adjust. Like, right, can I still do this? Was there anything else I could do instead? Because I was all prepared to run to the side of the ship and just cast Calm Emotions and uncharm everybody, or if I could. But then the octopi show up, and then I couldn't do that without taking attacks of opportunity, and I didn't want to risk it. And then I
Yeah, because
thought,
they would have
well,
gone for your shield.
Yeah, and then when I thought about it, I've got a pretty powerful CC option. And I
Yep.
figured if
Yeah, that was
you know,
a solid use
teammates
of Old
were-
Monster.
Yeah, because I was thinking my teammates were dealing with the other one, effectively focus firing one of them, so I figured if I just paralyze the other one, then that, effectively takes her out of the fight and would make things a
Yep.
lot easier. And obviously, she failed a lot of checks to get rid of it.
Yeah, she failed, like, she had really good wisdom as well, and she
Yeah.
failed all of the saving throws.
Yeah, and I obviously didn't actually take any damage in that fight. So, therefore, never once had to keep concentration.
Yeah.
But it was a very good sort of fight for sort of making me think what needs to be done and when.
The
And I did a lot of sort of like.
the other interesting thing that I thought of that you could have done to solve that is you could have done the old silence trick,
I could have as well.
because it was all based on sound.
It was, I could have silenced them.
I was thinking of that, but I was like, I don't know if you have
Yeah,
it prepped.
that would have stopped their spells as well. But yeah, and then it came to all the RP and like because I can't think of any other way to put this. Like Vondal is very much of the thing of, like of now where he's going. Like that actually felt really good to talk about it, and like he's happy that he is comfortable sharing, you know, potentially massively negative stories, and he's also very happy that his friends are comfortable sharing their equally not fun stories. So, like, this is the thing. He's realizing this is a really weirdly new situation of Jesus Christ. How much closer can I get to these people? I didn't what? It's kind of confusing him a little bit because he's always been kind of all over the place and always been focusing on other things. He's not had companions like as close as this ever, and he's been alive for 175 years, and so he's not 100% sure how to act almost.
Interesting. Well, take your experience, and with that, it's time to say goodnight for this session. So, I'd like to thank you all for watching, I'd like to thank you all for playing, and we'll see you all next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.